the roar of the crowd, the thunder of hooves, and the smell of dust and leather. This is the experience of the National Finals Rodeo. From the first thrill in 8 seconds to the last victorious ride is a display of skill, strength, and courage that can't be found anywhere else. Stick with me as we explore the history of the National Finals Rodeo and discover how it became the pinnacle of rodeo competitions. You won't want to miss a minute of the excitement. The National Finals Rodeo, sometimes called the Super Bowl of rodeo, is a big championship event organized each year by the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. This group, which started back in 1936 as the Cowboys Turtle Association and changed names a couple of times before becoming the PRCA in 1975, created the NFR to find out who's the best in 7 main rodeo events. These events include things like bareback riding, steer wrestling, and bull riding, among others. Ever since the first NFR in 1959, it has been a showcase for the top 15 money winners in each event, all competing to be crowned world champion. Back in the 1980s and 90s, there was even American freestyle bullfighting as part of the event. But that has been replaced by separate organizations focusing just on bullfighting. The NFR has moved around a bit over the years. It started in Dallas, Texas, then went to Los Angeles, California, before settling in Oklahoma City from the 1960s through the 1980s. There, it drew huge crowds and brought in millions of dollars for local businesses each year. In recent years, it has expanded to include other events like the National Finals Breakaway Roping, NFBR, which determines the Women's Professional Rodeo Association's world champion breakaway roper. This event happens alongside the main NFR, adding even more excitement to the rodeo scene. In 1984, Las Vegas sought to host the prestigious event, and the Oklahoma City Council pondered erecting a new $30 million arena at the state fairgrounds. Eventually, Las Vegas secured the bid, marking the beginning of a new era. Since 1985, the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, has been the vibrant host of the National Finals Rodeo, NFR, captivating audiences with thrilling performances over 10 fulfilling days. Throughout its storied history, the NFR has seen variations in its format. From 1959 to 1960, the rodeo comprised 10 rounds, followed by 8 rounds from 1961 to 1966. The event then shifted to 9 rounds from 1967 to 1969, returning to 10 rounds from 1970 to 1977. Notably, in 1978, there were 11 rounds, before reverting to 10 rounds in 1979, a format that has remained consistent ever since. In 2001, a groundbreaking sponsorship deal reshaped the landscape of professional rodeo. BF Corporation's Wrangler brand emerged as the first title sponsor of the National Finals Rodeo, signifying an important moment in the sport's journey to greater prominence. This landmark agreement, championed by PRCA Commissioner Stephen J. Hatchell, symbolized a concerted effort to elevate the stature of professional rodeo. Despite Oklahoma's aspiration to host the NFR, Las Vegas's robust financial backing has consistently prevailed. However, Oklahoma City embarked on its own rodeo journey in 2011 by hosting the National Circuit Finals Rodeo, showcasing the potential to draw enthusiastic crowds. This initiative aimed to demonstrate Oklahoma City's viability as an NFR host, especially with Las Vegas's contract set to conclude in 2014. Following the 2013 rodeo, cities like Dallas, Texas, and Kissimmee, Florida, struggled for the opportunity to host the prestigious event starting in 2015. Yet, on January 24, 2014, the PRCA signed a contract extension through 2024 with the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, reaffirming the city's status as the NFR's vibrant home. Despite a temporary relocation to Dallas in 2020 due to Nevada state restrictions, Las Vegas solidified its commitment by extending the contract to 2035, ensuring the NFR remains a beloved tradition in the entertainment capital. In 2020, due to COVID-19 and Nevada's strict health rules, the National Finals Rodeo, NFR, came back to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex after 59 years. It happened at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, where the restrictions were lighter. Alongside, they also held the first National Finals Breakaway Roping at the same venue. But in 2021, the NFR went back to its home at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. The NFBR shifted to the Orleans Arena, also in Las Vegas, during the same year. Then, in 2022, the NFBR moved again, this time to the South Point Arena in Las Vegas. Unlike before, it didn't coincide with the NFR dates. Instead, it happened right before the NFR started. In 2023, the NFR was set to run from December 7 to December 16. However, a tragic event happened. The UNLV shooting on December 6 near the Thomas and Mack Center led to the postponement of the first round of NFR. It was moved to December 8 out of respect for the victims. To keep up with the 10-round tradition, 2 rounds were held on December 13, one in the afternoon behind closed doors, and the other at night with standard Wednesday tickets. Now, let's have a deep look at the events that make the NFR experience an unforgettable one. Starting with steer wrestling, which some people prefer to call bulldogging. Here, a rider leaps from their horse onto a Corriente steer, aiming to wrestle it to the ground by grasping its horns. It's an event that requires full energy where speed is key, but also filled with danger as cowboys risk collisions and being crushed by the powerful animal. This is an excellent example of a bad day for a steer wrestler. Following closely is saddle bronc riding. Similar to bareback riding, but with a western saddle minus the horn for safety, riders must stay atop a bucking horse for 8 seconds. Each ride is scored up to 100 points, with higher marks awarded for mastering unruly horses with finesse. Then there's bareback riding, where riders cling to bucking horses with only a rigging secured by cinches and latigos. The aim is to endure the wild ride for 8 seconds. Just like saddle bronc riding, each successful ride is evaluated for a maximum score of 100 points, rewarding riders who demonstrate exceptional control and balance amidst the chaos. Tie-down roping, also called calf roping, dates back to the days of working on ranches, where cowboys would rope calves for various tasks like branding or medical care. It's one of the oldest timed events in rodeo. The cowboy chases down a sprinting calf, lassos it around the neck, and his horse helps by stopping and pulling back on the rope. Once the calf is caught, the cowboy swiftly dismounts, wrestles it to the ground, and ties 3 of its feet together. A good roping horse like this one knows to keep the rope tight while the cowboy works. Moving on to team roping, also called heading and heeling, it's the only team event in rodeo. Here, 2 riders work together to capture and restrain a full-grown steer. The header rider lassos the steer's horns, while the heeler rider catches its hind legs. After the catch, they position themselves facing each other, gently pulling the steer between them to keep both ropes taut. It's a technique born from the practicalities of ranch work. Barrel racing adds a touch of speed and agility to the rodeo arena. In this timed event, a horse and rider dash around a cloverleaf pattern of barrels, navigating tight turns without knocking them over. While predominantly a women's sport in professional rodeo, men also compete in local competitions. Barrel racing shares the spotlight with other PRCA events, but falls under the sanction of the Women's Professional Rodeo Association. For more thrills and adrenaline, bull riding fills the gap. Cowboys brave 8 seconds atop fully grown bucking bulls, aiming for a perfect score of 100 points. The intensity is always on the high side as riders showcase their skill and control, striving to outshine their competitors. Unlike traditional horse riding, bull riding demands a unique set of skills and equipment, accompanied by heightened risks. But the thing is, bulls can be unpredictable and downright ferocious creatures. They'll buck and twist, trying to throw off their rider and lash out with their hooves and horns. Bullfighters are often just as skilled and fearless as the riders, as they put their lives on the line to keep the riders safe. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, with both humans and bulls at risk of injury. The action is always intense, and anything can happen in a rodeo. Now, let's dive into the world of money. While some may see rodeo as a lifestyle, let's not forget those who are all about chasing the cash. The National Finals Rodeo lasts for 10 days, featuring competitions known as go-rounds in each event, with prizes up for grabs. There's also a special prize for the best combined performance over the entire event, called the average. Payouts are determined by the total prize pool. For every $208,000 in the pot, the top 6 in each go-round pocket $620, $490, $370, $260, $160, and $100 respectively. Meanwhile, the top 8 in the average take home $1,590, $1,290, $1,020, $750, $540, $390, $270, and $150. Between 2015 and 2020, a total of $10 million was distributed, comprising of $8.8 million in competition prizes and $1.2 million guaranteed to qualifiers. The purse rose to $10,257,048 in 2021 and $10,900,098 in 2022. But in 2023, the price was once again updated. Round winners now take home $30,706 and average winners earn $78,747. Each go-round pays a total of $99,053 and the average total pays $297,159 per event. Stock contractors, taking 30% of contestant payouts, see their share rise to $3,450,451. Due to its popularity, the NFR sells out all its seats, often well in advance. For those who can't get tickets, many casinos and hotels host special events and watch parties so fans can still enjoy the excitement of the rodeo. In addition to the actual rodeo events, there are also many country-themed shows and performances that take place in the surrounding areas. Many country music artists and bands perform at these casinos, bars, and other venues during the NFR. Some of the most popular acts include Chris Stapleton, Casey Musgraves, Jason Aldean, and Dierks Bentley. All of this adds to the atmosphere of excitement and celebration that surrounds the NFR. It really highlights how the NFR is much more than just the rodeo events. It's a full-on celebration that brings the whole city of Las Vegas together. And it's not just about the rodeo itself, it's also about the culture and lifestyle that goes along with it. The live feed has become a big part of the NFR experience, and the after parties are where the true spirit of the event comes alive. And for the records, it's not just for adults. There are also family-friendly events and activities to enjoy. Rodeo has been experiencing a resurgence in popularity in recent years, and part of that is due to the increased exposure it's getting on television and other media platforms. The NFR is aired on the Cowboy Channel and RFD TV, which has helped to bring the excitement and thrill of the rodeo to a whole new audience. And there's no doubt that the high demand for tickets and the rising prices reflect this increased interest. Do you think that this renewed interest is here to stay? If you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on all the latest rodeo news and events. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.